Hello and welcome to my ongoing review series of the Boom Studios Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic book. My name is Wes, the Average Trainer, and this episode covers issue number 4. So right off the bat, you see Scorpina continuing her assault on the cruise liner with the Dragon Zord coming straight out of the water and basically just destroying and capsizing the cruise liner. Thankfully, it looks like everybody got off on rafts, so that's good. And then back at the command center, they talk about how they can't take control of the Dragon Zord back. Jason decides that they need to go and confront it themselves, so they morph and leave without Tommy. Jason's very adamant that Tommy stays back and does not get involved because who knows what's going to happen. They summon their Zords and confront the Dragon Zords, which is busy destroying the city. And I really like how it's a cool shot of all 5 Zords together, not like all as a Megazord, but 5 Zords together, utilizing, the Triceratops Zord to wrap a chain around the Dragon Zord and try to drag it back into the water, which is a cool idea. But because of this, Rita orders Finster to finish the monsters that he's working on so she could send them over to help the Dragon Zord out. And these turn out to be giant shark monsters, which is really cool, and the teeth are really frightening on them. I found them to be an interesting design. Is there only one? There might only be one. I think there's only one in this issue, actually. I might have been mistaken. No, there's several. There are several shark monsters. And they are cool. And they begin to fight, and they interrupt the Rangers so that the Dragon Zord can go back to the city and continue the destruction, all for the purpose of course, charging the crystal that Rita's been working on for the last couple issues. And so, anyway, Tommy is watching from the command center and still being antagonized by the Rita hallucination, and he's just getting so fed up with it, and he finally overcomes this by realizing that it's his self-doubt that's basically giving her the power that she has over them, and due to this realization, she eventually vanishes. Tommy then goes to Zordon and says that the hallucinations are under his control now and that he has to go down. Zordon is seriously protesting. He's like, dude, this is direct defiance to what Jason said, but Tommy's like, whatever, I don't care, it's morphin' time. And he morphs and he teleports straight down to the Dragon Zord and tries to take control of it with the Dragon Dagger, but Scorpina smacks him off, and as Tommy's falling, he's caught by Kimberly, so thankfully they weren't, all part of the Megazord. Kimberly grabs him, and Jason's kind of like, seriously? Seriously? And Tommy's like, yeah, whatever, I have a plan. And so Kimberly brings him way high up to the Dragon Zord, and Tommy punches his way right through the front of the Dragon Zord cockpit where Scorpina's sitting. And in doing so, the other Rangers form the Megazord, and Tommy is able to destroy the fake Dragon Dagger, as well as capture Scorpina, which is awesome. And while he's doing that, the Megazord takes out the rest of the sharks. Great little fight. It only lasts a couple pages, but it's a nice little fight. And you basically have giant street sharks, which I hear was a bit of an inspiration for that. So that's cool. That's cool. And then at the command centers, Jason's getting all upset that Tommy disobeyed his orders, and they start getting into an argument, and things get heated again, of course. And then Zach intervenes, which is like, dude, just mind your own business, man. And they keep arguing, and as they're arguing, the crystal starts to have an electric charge going on that Scorpina's watching with much delight, and then eventually it flashes a huge bolt of lightning up to the top of the command center, and they realize, uh-oh, something's happening. So they get their helmets back on just in the time before the entire crystal explodes, taking out half of the command center with it, which really reminds me of the bomb that was planted in the command center at the very, very end of the original 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, when they're transitioning to Zeo, where the entire command center is destroyed. And it really does feel like that. So I guess that means it's not the first time the command center was destroyed. So anyway, they wake up in the rubble. You can see a couple of the Rangers looking up, and they see a giant, huge shadow of some kind of monster, some kind of robotic monster. And then the monster does something somewhat unprecedented. It shrinks down to their size and confronts the Rangers. It says, hello, Power Rangers. Blah, 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 blah. Who wants to go first? So he's ready for a battle, clearly. And that's actually the end of the issue. So overall, that was a great way to end that issue, and the first trade paperback, actually, because that leaves off on a super cool cliffhanger, and you're like, who is this mysterious robotic monster creature thing? All the hallucinations are over with Tommy, so that's good that we're finally done with that, since you saw that since issue 0, and the end of the crystal, which also appeared in issue 0, so kind of is a great place to ended on, especially since the trade paperback ended here, and issue 5 is actually not part of the main ongoing story that's right now. It's a bit of a flashback, so that's cool. And then this new monster is just gruesome and frightening, and honestly reminds me of something from Evangelion, so that's cool. The command center, again, destroyed. That makes you wonder what happened to Zordon and Alpha. This is definitely not a hallucination, so something must have happened to them. So, good way to end this issue. And yeah, that's issue number 4. Tune in next time when I talk about issue 5 and the slight deviation we're taking from the main story. And until next time, stay average. Goodbye.